The Central Bureau of Investigation that has been looking into it, because that's on a larger scale there is a problem. The fact of the matter is that there have been searches that have been carried out even by the agencies. Perhaps this is a story that we'll be tracking very closely and get our viewers the full details of this another scam that is brewing right now. But on This is Exclusive, we'll get you the story that hasn't been touched by the other media. The radicalization program and the fact that the terror module that was operating in Uttar Pradesh, which has now been busted by the anti-terrorist squad. As the UP ATS intensifies its crackdown, massive revelations emerge in the Uttar Pradesh terror case. Republic accesses the shocking 70-page incriminating document recovered from the arrested. Big arms haul in Maharashtra, 3 AK-47 rifles recovered from 2 unattended boats. State of Maharashtra on high alert after arms recovery in Raigad. Searches underway in multiple districts. Congress faces massive backlash for Tipu backing first Siddaramaiah welcomed with Savarkar posters. Now posters put up across Karnataka. A massive terror module was busted a few days ago by the Uttar Pradesh police. It started with one arrest, followed up with multiple arrests that were taking place. What turns out in the investigation that has been carried out by the UP ATS was that incriminating evidence. We're given to understand that they were in touch with their handlers in Pakistan as well as Afghanistan. There was literature that was provided by their handlers from Pakistan. And not just that, there are more names that have basically emerged. In this edition of This is Exclusive, we'll get you full details of the investigation that has been carried out. And also, we've accessed the very documents that have been seized or recovered by the UP ATS when the arrests were made. First, here is a report, and then we come back with some breaking news coming on this story.
On August 12, the Uttar Pradesh police had arrested a JeM terrorist identified as Nadeem from Saharanpur. And just 2 days later, an alleged associate named by Nadeem, Saifullah, was arrested in the same case. Uttar Pradesh ADG Law and Order confirmed shortly after the arrest that Saifullah was involved in forging IDs reportedly to be used for terror activities. After his interrogation, it was also learned that the JeM associate was involved in such activities for over 5 years, including youth radicalization and making fake IDs. Saifullah named 8 more people who are now under the ATS radar. Both Saifullah and Nadeem are currently in 14-day custody of the UP ATS. And now the police have made the third arrest in the case. Sabauddin was arrested from Azamgarh and has been taken under a 12-day ATS remand. Not only this, a 70-page document was found with Nadeem and Saifullah, which has been accessed by Republic according to sources. This document pertains to suspicious courses sent by JeM and involves Fidayan attack, how to make and use explosives, and lone wolf attack, etc. And as the terror case unfolds further, shocking details are yet to come to the fore. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Well, in fact, we have accessed a 70-page JeM course that has been accessed. It was recovered from Nadeem and Saifullah. The shocking details of the 70-page document, the PDF document. In fact, on your screens right now, there are details of what exactly entails in this particular so-called terror course book, if we may put it across, because Saifullah as well as Nadeem, they were basically all part of this module, and they were basically given training to prepare, or rather make bombs in Uttar Pradesh. In fact, they had plans of carrying out a massive recruitment drive. In fact, there are 8 people who have basically come under the scanner. In a short while from now, we'll also bring in my colleague Vivek, who's been getting us full details of the investigation that's been carried out. In fact, we have been told that more arrests have been made. This is the 3rd day of the questioning that is taking place of Saifullah as well as Nadeem. Whether there are more people as part of this entire terror module is something that we'll have to wait and watch, because what turns out is that they were actually in touch with their handlers starting from 2018. They were in touch with their handlers based in Pakistan as well as in Afghanistan. They were associated with the terror group JeM. In fact, what we are given to understand is that there was specific access, or there was specific instructions that were given. In fact, let's go across to some of our colleagues who put out those documents, the PDF document that has been recovered. So what you see right now on your screen is that very PDF document that has been accessed, recovered. We have accessed it, recovered by the UP ATS when the searches were basically carried out. In fact, if you take a look at some more details that are basically coming across to us at this point in time, is that this, in the 70-page document, these are the details that we have. It's a 70-page course sent by the JeM. It's a Fidayeen attack maintained in terror. This is a PDF file. How to make and use explosives that have been mentioned. There is also a mention of a lone wolf attack description in one of the PDF files. Hidayat ideology, one can basically witness from going through some of the documents that we have accessed right now. Let me bring in my colleague Vivek, who's got us full details of this entire investigation. Vivek, सबसे पहले आपसे जानना चाहूँगा कि जो जितने भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स आपने एक्सेस की, उसमें से कई सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स से ये जानकारी मिल रही है कि किस तरह से एक तरह से ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल बनाया गया था। ये ट्रेनिंग कहीं ना कहीं वो कोशिश ये कर रहे थे कि बाकी जितने लोग हैं उन्हें रिक्रूट किया जाए, उन्हें यही ट्रेनिंग दिया जाए। पहले आपसे जानना चाहूँगा कि ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स में क्या सबसे बड़ी बात क्या निकल कर आ रही है?
देखिए, कुल 2 डॉक्यूमेंट्स इनके पास से मिले हैं, एक राह हिदायत और दूसरा जो फिदाई फोर्स। और जो फिदाई फोर्स की बात की जाए तो फिदाई फोर्स में कैसे फिदाइन अटैक किए जाएं, इसको लेकर के उसमें डॉक्यूमेंट्स में चीज़ें थीं, और उसमें एक्सप्लोजिव्स कैसे बनाए जाएं, किस मात्रा में बनाए जाएं, केमिकल रिएक्शंस क्या होनी चाहिए, इस बाबत उसमें जानकारियां दी गई थी। और राह हिदायत की बात की जाए तो राह हिदायत एक टेलीग्राम का ग्रुप भी था जिसमें ये सभी लोग अपने अकाउंट से जुड़े हुए थे, और इसी को लेकर के राह हिदायत की एक 70 पन्ने की PDF जो रिपब्लिक ने एक्सेस की है वो उनके पास से मिली है। और राह हिदायत में जो तमाम इसको लेकर के ये पूरा एक संदिग्ध कोर्स है कि कैसे फिदाइन हमले किए जाएं, इसके बाद कैसे लोगों को कहीं ना कहीं बरगलाया जाए, जो इनका गजवाए हिंद का जो सपना है उसको कैसे पूरा किया जाए। तो ये तमाम ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो राह हिदायत से निकल के सामने आई हैं। हालांकि आपको बताऊं कि आज दूसरा दिन है पूछताछ का, अभी भी पूछताछ इनसे चल रही है। कल जब पहले दिन जब पूछताछ हुई थी तो कल इन तीनों लोगों को अकेले बैठा करके पूछताछ हुई थी। हालांकि आपको बताऊं कि नदीम और सैफुल्लाह तो JeM के आतंकी हैं, लेकिन वहीं सुबाउद्दीन की भी गिरफ्तारी एक हुई, आजमगढ़ से हुई थी, वो ISIS का आतंकी। और सब पिछले 1 हफ्ते 10 दिन के अंदर ही इन तीनों की गिरफ्तारी हुई है। और कल तीनों को अलग अलग पहले तो बैठा करके पूछताछ की गई, और तमाम जो क्वेश्चन उनसे पूछे गए, तकरीबन 20 से ज़्यादा ऐसे क्वेश्चन जो उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ से जुड़े हुए क्वेश्चन थे वो उनसे पूछताछ की गई। और इसके साथ साथ टेक्निकल जानकारी भी ली गई कि क्या वो कितने टेक्निकली कितने साउंड हैं, फ़ोन्स इस्तेमाल करते हैं, कौन से फ़ोन्स इस्तेमाल करते हैं, लैपटॉप्स कौन से इस्तेमाल करते हैं, साथ साथ सिम कार्ड्स उन्होंने कितनी बार चेंज किए हैं, कब से कौन से सिम कार्ड्स उन्होंने इस्तेमाल किए हैं। एक बड़ी चीज़ और पता चली वर्चुअल आईडीज़ को लेकर के। वर्चुअल आईडीज़ इन लोगों, क्योंकि ये अपने जो अकाउंट से जो ये पाकिस्तान में बातचीत करते थे, वर्चुअल आईडीज़ बना करके उससे बातचीत करते थे। और उसमें उन्होंने ये भी बताया नदीम ने कि उसको ये कहा गया था कि वर्चुअल आईडीज़ कभी भी अपने फ़ोन से नहीं बनानी है, हमेशा अपने दोस्तों के फ़ोन या अपने किसी जानने वाले के फ़ोन का इस्तेमाल करना है। और उन्होंने ये बताया कि वो नदीम अपने दोस्तों के फ़ोन लेकर के वर्चुअल आईडीज़ बनाता था और उनके फ़ोन को तब तक रखा रहता था जब तक उस पर OTP या तमाम जो उससे जुड़ी हुई चीज़ें वो ना आ पाए, और उसके बाद ही जब वर्चुअल आईडीज़ बन जाती थी तो लोगों को उनका फ़ोन लौटा देता था। कल की जो पूछताछ हुई है, कल की पूछताछ में फिदाई फोर्स से लेकर के राय हिदायत और ये जो ग्रुप्स की बात तो निकल के सामने आई है, इसमें कुछ और चीज़ें भी निकल के सामने आई हैं। उसमें लोन वुल्फ अटैक की बात निकल के सामने आई है, क्योंकि नुपुर शर्मा की हत्या करने को लेकर के इनकी जो मंसूबे थे उसको लेकर के ये काम कर रहे थे। इनके पास से जो चाकू भी बरामद हुई थी, ऑटोमेटिक चाकू, उसको लेकर के लोन वुल्फ अटैक करने की कोशिश में थे। लोन वुल्फ अटैक का मंसूबा कहीं ना कहीं ये होता है कि एक छोटे हथियार से किसी बड़े आदमी की हत्या करने का जो एक मंसूबा होता है वो कहीं ना कहीं इनको उस साजिश को अंजाम देना था। इसके अलावा पूछताछ में कुछ और चीज़ें निकल के सामने आई, जिसमें ये बताया गया कि नदीम ने जब सैफुल्लाह का नाम लिया तो उसके बाद सैफुल्लाह की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, और सैफुल्लाह ने ये बताया कि तकरीबन 7 से 8 और लोगों के नाम इन लोगों ने लिए हैं, जो कि उत्तर प्रदेश के अलग अलग ज़िलों के अलावा उत्तर प्रदेश के बाहर भी 4 ऐसे राज्य हैं जहाँ के ये लोग हैं। और इसमें कश्मीर का भी नाम निकल के सामने आया जहाँ के लोगों के ये संपर्क में थे और उनको भी कहीं ना कहीं बरगलाने की इनकी कोशिश थी। इसके अलावा एक जो बड़ी चीज़ ये है कि ये अभी तक तो ये यूपी में रह करके अपना जो मॉड्यूल है उसको चला रहे थे और अपनी चीज़ों को सीख रहे थे, लेकिन एक और चीज़ निकल के ये सामने आई है कि अगले महीने सितंबर के महीने में इन लोगों को पाकिस्तान जाना था। पुलिस इस बात की भी ATS इस बात की भी जांच कर रही कि इन्होंने वीज़ा के लिए कैसे अप्लाई किया था, क्या चीज़ें हुई थी और किन लोगों ने इनकी मदद की थी। ये तमाम भी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिसको लेकर के ATS उस पर जाँच कर रही है। इसके अलावा आज की बात करूँ तो आज भी जो पूछताछ है वो जारी है, और आज की पूछताछ में कल तो इन तीनों को अलग अलग बैठा करके पूछताछ की गई, पर आज इन तीनों को एक साथ बैठा करके ATS ने पूछताछ की है और वो पूछताछ फ़िलहाल चल रही है। अब देखना होगा, क्योंकि तकरीबन 10 दिन की इनकी जो रिमांड है वो है। इसके अलावा अगर मैं बात करूं तो जो सबसे पहली गिरफ्तारी सुबाउद्दीन की हुई थी, सुबाउद्दीन ने जो जी
विवेक दो स्पेसिफिक चीज़ों के बारे में मैं जानना चाहूँगा। सबसे पहली बात जो है, फिदायन हमलों की बातें की जा रही है इस कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स में, और दूसरी बात यह है कि 8 कुछ लोगों के नाम निकल कर आ रहे हैं ये पूरे इंटरोगेशन के बाद में। सबसे पहले तो ये फिदायन की जो बात हो रही है, क्या यूपी ATS इस बात की पुष्टि कर रही है कि किस तरह से रेकी किया गया हो, या कुछ ऐसे लोकेशन जहाँ पे रेकी किया गया हो जहाँ पे वो फिदायन हमले करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे?
देखिए, एग्जैक्ट स्पेसिफिक लोकेशन फ़िलहाल अभी इन्होंने नहीं खुलासा किया है, लेकिन जो फिदाइन फोर्स की जो इनके पास से जो कोर्सेज मिले हैं उसमें जो तमाम डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं उसमें लिखा गया है कि एक्सप्लोजिव कैसे बन सकता है, स्लो एक्सप्लोजिव कैसे बनेगा, सेंसिटिव एक्सप्लोजिव कैसे बनेगा, इसके अलावा मेन एक्सप्लोजिव, लॉन्चिंग एक्सप्लोजिव। तो ये तमाम ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिसको लेकर के ये इनके पास से जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिले हैं उसमें ये जानकारी ले रहे थे। और उसके बाद जो जिन लोगों के कॉन्टैक्ट में थे ये लोग, उनको कहीं ना कहीं कैसे ट्रेनिंग करना है उसकी जानकारी भी दी जा रही थी। इसके अलावा जो फिदाइन फोर्स की बात की, जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं उसमें RDX कैसे बनता है, उसमें किन मात्रा में क्या चीज़ें इंक्लूड की जाती हैं, उसमें DNT कुछ चीज़ होती है वो इन्वॉल्व कैसे होती है, मोबाइल ऑयल कैसे इन्वॉल्व होता है, टेट्रिल कैसे इन्वॉल्व होता है, ग्रीस कैसे इन्वॉल्व होती है, तो नाइट्रो सेल्यूलोज कितनी उसकी मात्रा होती है, कैसे इस्तेमाल होता है। और जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिले हैं ये सभी डॉक्यूमेंट्स, कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स इसमें से इंग्लिश में हैं, बाकी सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स इसमें उर्दू में हैं। और ये सभी डॉक्यूमेंट्स को भी ATS उर्दू के जो ज्ञानी हैं उनसे उस बाबत जानकारी लेकर के उसको डिकोड करने की कोशिश कर रही है। तो एक तो ये फिदाइन फोर्स की बात होगी, जो फिदाइन फोर्स की जो डॉक्यूमेंट मिले हैं उससे कैसे एक तरीके से एक्सप्लोजिव्स कैसे बनाने हैं उसको लेकर के ये जानकारी इकट्ठा कर रहे थे। इसके अलावा कुछ ना कुछ इनके दिमाग में कहीं ना कहीं जो गजवाए हिंद का जो सपना साकार करने की कोशिश थी, क्योंकि इनको लगता था कि जो तालिबानी हुकूमत है वो ज़्यादा अच्छा करती है, और ये ऐसा ही गजवाए हिंद का सपना लेकर के यूपी में कहीं ना कहीं गजवाए हिंद को लागू करवाने की कोशिश करना चाहते थे। ये भी उन्होंने बताया कि वो हिंदुस्तानियों को काफिर मानते थे, जो भी लोग इस धर्म को मानने वाले उसको काफिर भी मानते। तो ये तमाम ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो उन्होंने अपनी पूछताछ में बताई हैं। ATS के सूत्रों ने हमें ये सारी जानकारियाँ दी हैं। फिलहाल एक जो जी
Thank you very much, Vivek, for getting us that big exclusive on the arrests that have been made by the UP ATS. Moving on to the other big story that we are tracking very closely, an exclusive on that very boat that was found off the Raigad coast. AK-47s have been recovered, 3 AK-47s. Along with it, bullet casings have also been recovered, sparking a major fear, a rerun of what many feared, because remember, Raigad coast has essentially been notorious when it comes to arms dropping of the D Company. What essentially happened back in during 1993. Now let's take a look at what do we know as far as this particular boat that drifted off and finally came closer to Raigad coast. The Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister has already made it very clear that there's preliminary investigation that has essentially been done, which indicates that this boat belonging to a company was moving from Muscat on its way en route to Europe when there was an engine malfunction, and thereafter the crew had basically hit the distress button. They were evacuated by a Korean naval ship. But finally, what happens is that this particular boat in which most of these weapons were kept was not evacuated or was not taken into consideration. And finally, because of the high tide, has finally landed near the Raigad coast, sparking a major fear. In fact, we have our reporters on the ground getting us more details of the ship itself. It started back in 26th of June when it started sailing. The boat engine basically failed. The Korean ship had rescued the sailors on 26th June around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. On 26th of June, soon after the sailors dropped to Oman, and 18th of August is when unmanned boat with AK-47s were found in Raigad. Let me bring in my colleague Alisha for a quick response. Alisha, what more details are you picking up? Because the central agencies are also looking into this entire matter. I'm given to understand the National Investigation Agency is looking into whether at all there is any terror link that has been that surfaces at this point in time. So far, the Maharashtra government saying that no such terror link that has surfaced.
Well, Shravan, if we read out the statement that was given in from Deputy Chief Minister and Home Minister Devendra Fadnavis, who clearly mentioned that at this point of time the terror angle cannot be ruled out, which is why there is a high alert in the entire district in Raigad right after a boat with a weapon that was recovered. So if I talk about the incident, so let me put things into perspective, because it was the fisherman who gave the information to the local police about this suspicious boat that was found near Hariheshwar beach, and the time police officials they have reached to the location, it was an high tide. At first it was very difficult for them to get into the boat and to do a search operation, but the time they got a hold on it, they searched and they found a box. In that box it was a 3 AK-47 rifles and some cartridge, and the name that was mentioned on the box, the sticker that was Neptune Maritime Security, and since the time they have the information about it, they directly contacted them and they procured all those information about it. And the statement that was even released from the state Home Minister clearly mentioning that the boat that was belonging to a woman who is an Australian citizen, and her husband is itself a captain, and it's on 26th of June where the boat engine was not really working, and he called for a distress, called for an help, and there was a Korean team who helped the captain and the other crew who was present. But that point of time it was a high tide, and the current situation in the sea, the boat cannot be towed, which came towards the Konkan coast. So while talking about the investigation, yes, the police is still recording the statement of the fishermen. There are National Investigation Agency who is en route to Raigad, and also anti-terrorist squad who is looking into the matter.
Thank you very much, Alisha, for getting us the latest details. We'll be closely tracking this story. Whether at all there is any terror link or not, that is something that we'll have to wait and watch, as the central agencies are now taking over this entire case.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 10th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education. whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
In a major crackdown, 2 gangsters were arrested in Amritsar's Jandiala in a cross-firing last night. The arrests come after they broke a checkpoint in Jandiala area. The police chased them for 11 kilometers. They fired at the police party all along and were later nabbed near the Vadala Jol drain. Furthermore, 2 kgs of heroin and 30-bore pistol were recovered. Eastern Air Commander Air Marshal D.K. Patnaik reviewed the operational preparedness of the Air Force Station Jorhat in Assam. The official Twitter handle of the Indian Air Force informed that the Eastern Air Commander Air Marshal inspected the premier transport aircraft base and the new facilities being created there. UP ATS arrested 2 JeM terrorists. The terrorists were interrogated and the investigators of the ATS also recorded the answers of the terrorists word by word. Nadeem and Saifullah told the UP ATS how they made fake IDs and how they were taught to make fake IDs by the people of the terrorist organization. A vegetable vendor's daughter was shot at in Indrapura locality of near a police station in Patna. The injured girl who was shot at in the neck is undergoing treatment in a private hospital. According to the Patna police, the matter is being said to be a personal affair, animosity. In Rajasthan, in a village in Bharkanwali of Sangria police station, and a priest was murdered, and the news spread in the village after the body of the priest was recovered. The reason for the murder and the whole situation is to be investigated by the police. News from Rajasthan, Jaipur, where a school teacher was set ablaze in Jambara Mangar area of Jammu, where she later succumbed to a burn injuries. According to police, the woman was set ablaze over some monetary issues.
बाद इन दोनों पक्षों में इस चीज़ को लेके विवाद था। उसमें एक दूसरे पक्ष के 2 व्यक्तियों को 151 की कार्रवाई भी पुलिस द्वारा की गई थी। उसके बाद में घटना से 2 दिन पहले दोनों ही पक्षों ने एक दूसरे के खिलाफ केस दर्ज करवाए थे। आपसी मारपीट और इस तरह के केस दर्ज करवाए थे। उनका अनुसंधान अभी वर्तमान में चल रहा है और इस दरमियान जो 10 तारीख को इंसिडेंट की जो सूचना मिली उसमें कार्रवाई करते हुए पुलिस ने बयान लेके तुरंत और मुकदमा दर्ज करके उसका अनुसंधान।
Mega NI crackdown underway in Jammu and Kashmir. NI raids underway at multiple locations in Jammu, Katwa and Samba, Srinagar and Doda as well. Lashkar terrorist residence raided. Cash was dropped by drone along with consignment of weapons for use by the terrorists. Daughter of Anubrata Mondal, Sukanya Mondal, has left home for Kolkata. She is supposed to appear before the High Court today by 3 p.m. Her name has come up in the SSC teachers recruitment scam. Ousted Imran Khan has fired a fresh salvo at Pakistan government after close aide was arrested over sedition charges. Imran Khan stated that the nation is descending into a banana republic. The United States
Can I get some breaking news right now? Republic TV has now accessed details of a charge sheet that has been filed by the National Investigation Agency in which 4 people were arrested in an ISIS case. 4 accused: Sadiq Bacha, R. Ashik, Mohammad Irfan and Rabatullah. The charge sheet has been filed in Chennai. In fact, this is what we are learning before I go across to my reporters. Details that we have. The accused here, the 4 accused tried to kill a police personnel on 21st of February during a police check. Second breaking news that's coming in, we're also getting in pictures, first pictures that have been accessed by Republic TV. The 4 accused are associated with the Khilafah Front of India, Khilafah Party of India, Intellectual Students of India. The accused had links with ISIS, Al-Qaeda and the National Tawheed Jamaat of Sri Lanka. The accused were making efforts to recruit people in Trivandrum and Chennai. There are incriminating chats, videos and photographs from sources such as ISIS and the National Tawheed Jamaat of Sri Lanka from the digital devices. The NIA had taken over this case back in April. Details of the charge sheet only now with Republic TV. Let me bring in my colleague Piyush Ore for the latest details. Piyush, 4 accused that were arrested. Charge sheet has now been filed. Clear links emerging with ISIS, Al-Qaeda and the NTJ of Sri Lanka. What more details do you have?
So yes, Shravan, these are some damning allegations that have been, come forward after the NIA took over this case in April. Now, this case came way back in February when, these 4 persons who were arrested then were accused of killing a police official. However, when NIA took this case in April, it was found that, these officials, these people were not only involved with, radical outfits, but, they were also trying to radicalize several people in, other southern Indian states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So yes, now the charge sheet has been filed by NIA and investigations, of how many people more besides these 4 people are involved are being carried out by NIA. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you very much, Piyush, for getting us the latest details. The charge sheet has now been filed by the National Investigation Agency. Clear links emerging with ISIS, Al-Qaeda and the National Tawhid Jamaat of Sri Lanka. Getting at some more breaking news right now. This is once again with regards to the National Investigation Agency, but this is coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where searches were basically carried out. 8 places where the searches were carried out. 1 in Srinagar, 1 in Jammu, 4 in Kathua, 1 in Samba, 1 in Doda. TRF module has been busted. Links with Pakistan that's emerging. They basically received consignment of arms, ammunition and explosives from Pakistan via drones from the Samba sector. These consignments were used to carry out attacks on minorities, migrants, as well as security forces. Now, these are the latest details that are coming in with regards to the searches that were basically carried out by the National Investigation Agency. Interesting to point out here is that drones that were basically used to ensure that the consignment that was moving in from Pakistan was dropped across the border. It turns out that this was essentially being done. Arms and ammunitions were being sent to the terror outfit here across the border. With this, we slip into a short break. On the other side, live and breaking with my colleague Abhishek.
News from Rajasthan, Jaipur, where a school teacher was set ablaze in Jambara Mangar area of Jammu, where she later succumbed to a burn injuries, according to police. The woman was set ablaze over some monetary issues.
बाद इन दोनों पक्षों में इस चीज़ को लेके विवाद था। उसमें एक दूसरे पक्ष के 2 व्यक्तियों को 151 की कार्रवाई भी पुलिस द्वारा की गई थी। उसके बाद में घटना से 2 दिन पहले दोनों